You know, it's the time of year that we Minnesotans start thinking about the word heavy. Heavy coats, heavy gloves, heavy traffic. But today we're talking about a few heavy topics, from race to sexuality, with today's edition of TCL's Movie Trip and our critic from Paul's Trip to the Movies. Say hi to Paul McGuire Grimes, everybody.
Hello, hi.
All right, so these are some heavy topics in these movies. Yes, they are. But let's go right at them. Let's start with the theatrical release of the movie Boy Erased.
Yes,
Tell me more.
opens in theaters this week, and in it stars Lucas Hedges as a young man. This is based on a true story, who was forced to go to a gay conversion therapy program when he came out to his dad and mom. His dad is Russell Crowe. He is their local pastor, and then Nicole Kidman plays their mom. So this obviously is not sitting well with their religious beliefs.
So I would imagine there are a lot of uncomfortable conversations that you listen in on as an audience member.
Right, you know, yeah, exactly. So the movie goes back and forth between him in college, discovering his true self, and then him having to tell his parents that and what happens when he goes into this program. And it really becomes educational, because I don't know if a lot of people know about gay conversion therapy and what that situation is. So then you get this eye-opening view of what happens when people go into there and how dangerous that becomes. And we have Lucas Hedges, who he was nominated for an Oscar for Manchester by the Sea. He's so soft and innocent here, and you really understand what it's like to come out in college, and then when you have all these people trying to force that out of you when that can't happen, it really becomes emotional and very educational at the same time.
You mentioned there the performance of Lucas Hedges. Let's talk a little bit about Nicole Kidman and Russell Crowe. How do they do?
So Nicole Kidman has that like church wife facade, but then she's struggling because she knows and she loves her son, and she wants to believe and accept that, but then she has her husband that doesn't accept that at all. So she's battling, does she side with her son or her husband? So you love these monologues that she has. And Russell Crowe, one of the best performances he's given in years.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, because he's just forceful and he sticks to his convictions, and you're like, I don't agree with you at all, but you're giving such a good performance that I feel that disconnect from father and son. You want them to put it together, and it's based on a true story.
Well, so and you feel these very real conflicts that happen in families where people feel strongly about what they feel, but they are held together by the love that they have for one another, and that's a tough, long road for folks to walk through.
And sometimes they don't, and sometimes family gets split apart, and I've been through that, and you know, like, I get that. So this movie was very emotional for me to see.
How many ticket stubs?
I'm giving it 4 out of 5 ticket stubs. I want people to go see it, have those conversations with people that are struggling in life, you know what this is, because it's important.
Now we turn to an option that you can watch at home. Here again, another heavy topic into the world of race. You give this a perfect score.
This was my first 5 out of 5 ticket stubs of the year. This is actually my favorite movie of the year, and this is BlacKkKlansman. That is John David Washington. He's Denzel Washington's son. He plays Ron Stallworth, who becomes a member of the Colorado Police Force and decides to infiltrate the local chapter of the KKK. So he has Adam Driver, who's another cop, go in and pose in their meetings as him.
Man, I gotta watch this movie.
And then Topher Grace plays David Duke. So it's directed by Spike Lee, again, based on a true story. So you're watching this, you're like, I cannot believe that this happened, but it's true.
Also, we see Adam Driver there. Adam Driver, who Star Wars fans, you know him as Kylo Ren in the new Star Wars movies. How is he in this?
He's fantastic. I mean, he's always good. He's one of my favorites right now. And then John David, you know that he is Denzel's son, because
he's got a bit of the Denzel?
Yes, he's got the force and the swagger. And the odd thing about the movie, too, is that it's so forceful, but then you're laughing at the same time, because Spike Lee does that balance of getting you to laugh. It's like how ridiculous this is, but then punching you in the gut at the same time. Like, if you come out of this movie emotionless, you're not paying attention to what's going on. So he released this on the 1-year anniversary of Charlottesville, and there's a reason for that you find out why. And you're like, wait a minute, is this taking place in the 1970s or 2017? And that all makes sense when you see this movie.
We have got one more option for you to watch at home, if you dare.
If you want escapism, this is your next binge-worthy, must-see show on Netflix. Stevie, you are not going to be out. Here's
I'm out.
10 episodes.
Haunting of Hill House. Yes. No, thank you.
It is about a family that had to deal with trauma as kids when they were living in this house, and how now as adults they're forced to relive their past when tragedy strikes their family again. So yes, it looks scary. Yes, there are thrilling moments. I jumped off my couch multiple times. But what I loved is that it is this character study of how this family deals with death and trauma, and how they all dealt with that differently as kids, now as adults, and how that really fractured this family, and how maybe they're trying to come together again.
Here's the trouble, though, Paul.
It is a great character study, Steve.
I've heard so many people say that, but then they also say, oh, and I won't forget that one scene, because I don't like to feel scared when I turn the lights out. Simply put. And am I going to feel scared when I turn the lights out at the end of the night?
You will, but that's what's so good. That is the cathartic great about this. But you care for this family. It gets you to care for what these characters are going through. And then you think, how would I deal with this trauma and this death that's going on? And how would my family react to that? And because you care, it makes the jump scares even better. Go see it. If you saw it, if you binged it all in one sitting like I did, 10 episodes all in Halloween, we did it. It was phenomenal.
Don't do
At
it.
Paul's
Don't
Movie
do
Trip,
it.
tweet me. Let's see what you think. It's so good. Let me know what you think.
Thank you, buddy.
Stevie,
As always,
thank you.
always good to be with you. Visit Paul's website. It's called paulstriptothemovies.com. He has got more movie reviews there. You can also listen to Paul. He's on the Colleen and Bradley Show on My Talk 107.1 every Friday. And he's got a podcast called Paul's Trip to the Movies. We turn